Hello, welcome to the CloudFrontDesk tutorial. This tutorial, we will learn about the revenue post setup. So this setup is the most crucial setup in the CloudFrontDesk system because with this revenue post setup you can determine how you issue the report you want to submit. From the CloudFrontDesk system, here, the most basic of the setups in the CloudFrontDesk is this revenue post setup. Okay, let's see how to set up a revenue post. Maybe before you do this setup you have to understand first seen in the previous video what you have to know about that setup, so you have to understand that first, then we will learn about video tutorials about revenue setup. Okay, setup revenue. How from the dashboard we select setup, then select revenue account. Now this post revenue is here revenue and settlement. This is setup which will be the result of this setup will be used for the room rate, then used for costs, billing guests, and so on. So the basic setup is all here. Now for each revenue and settlement, this post revenue defaults to only 4 major groups. So room revenue payment is F&B, revenue and other revenue. So what is the name of an example? An example of what is in the revenue room setup. You must first understand that there are 4 groups of revenue, which will have a contract rate and so on. Later, they will be used in revenue for that payment. The cashier at the time of guest checkout is in this payment. F&B is for restaurants and so on, so the charge is here. Then the other one, apart from these 3, laundry and so on, transportation, and so on. Okay, let's choose room revenue. We'll try it later. We'll make an example of room revenue from here. Let's add a new post. Now, yes. So if I came back here, there was one from the revenue room. There was an example of a standard room and so on. I'll try it later. We make a group from the price of junior suite. The price is, for example, 600,000. For example, yes, add new post code, junior suite. Junior suite like this is a junior suite room. For example, what category is this junior suite room, including the charge for this room? This must be prepared first. This type of link type is because yes, like in the previous tutorial, you have to prepare the room type first before you can set up this post revenue. You must first select the existing junior suite so that later it will be connected between the junior suite income and the type impact on guest bill. If we charge the junior suite room, does the guest bill increase or decrease? Because what is our name to charge the guest? Yes. Then this is an example 600, I said, like that. It can be edited, meaning that the price can be negotiable. Then the rate formula is now what you need to know is the rate F. What is the formula? So later, we will explain about the rate formula later. We will explain in the results from the end of the rate formula. There are 7 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 7 formulas. From if we charged 600 earlier, is 600 clean, no tax and service. Only 600 goes to all income, or do you still have to add 10% tax? Do you still need to add 10% service, or service with 10% tax, or 10% service tax 11%? What is it? So you have to choose it. So for example include. So if I charge 600, the original income from the junior suite was not pure 600 because the 10% was already deducted by tax and service like that. Is this junior suite payment? No, need to be checked for cashier reports. Like that, yes, it is used at the point of sales. No, generate account receivable. No, so it will automatically enter there. It may or may not be filled in. It may or may not be like this. So there will be a special way to post revenue later for the room. It's like this. Then we submit, okay, like that. Now, here is the JSUIT room, junior suite. Now, there are 600 formulas. Number 7 includes, okay, then. There's a payment, there's a payment, there's an advance deposit, this is the default. Then if for example we want to add for example there is a credit card payment, for example, yes, then we have to add a credit card payment credit card, for example, so payment by credit card, for example, what category is this payment or settlement room? This doesn't need to be because it is not related to the room. If this payment is added to a credit card, then it reduces. If it is charged with a credit payment credit card, then the bill disappears and the default rate is 0. Because it is editable, yes, no tax and service, because this is a payment account, yes, this means it needs to be checked for use in point of sales, no generate number is like that. Then we submit, then the payment credit card is here, then for FB like this, for example, there is room service, I added room service, he entered here, I added add new post, for example, our room service category includes F and B, this doesn't have to be if it is charged with room service, then the default is empty, editable, yes, no tax and service or something else, for example plus service. So there is still an additional payment account, no, yes, no, this is room service, no, not part of the recipient of money used at point of sale, can yes, maybe no, because if there are items we can yes, otherwise it means no, generate AR, no, what later, yes, it's here, so we'll try it later. We submit it, then room service has entered, then we'll take an example, related payments, what is a generic account receivable called, an example of a payment related to, for example, a payment by a travel agent, so a city ledger is like that, so it is billed to a travel agent or city ledger, so this must be answered yes like that, okay, so a little about revenue posts, hopefully it can I understand. Before we closed, the results from when we did the setup related to what the formula was called, it would look like this. If 200,000 are included, it will immediately break down itself. How much is the service? How much is the tax? So when we go from 200, it will automatically be the system breaks this down because the formula is number 7 including tax and service like that. But if for example net, then we charge 2 million, then it's still empty like that. So the explanation of the revenue post